Welcome to Columbus, Ohio, and the venerable Horseshoe, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, a place that's home to such legendary names as Archie, Woody, Zeke, and Stroud. We've got a top 25 matchup on hand. Two of the premier teams in the land looking to make a statement that will resonate. As we'll see, the number 12 team in the country, the Ole Miss Rebels, taking on the 9th-ranked team in the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. The Buckeyes will kick it away first. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The fans are ready for this one. The booth's shaking underneath us, guys. They'll try the run. Works ahead for a couple. They'll stop him at the 27. People like to say conference affiliation doesn't matter. But you get the SEC against the Big Ten, and there's no denying there's a little extra juice in the building.
Definitely extra juice. The best two conferences, the biggest conferences, Palmer. Everybody talks about these being the power brokers and deciding the future of college football. So, yes, it matters.
A lot of blue bloods in both conferences, David. You're right. I think it's something players are also very aware of, too, is having that conference pride, wanting to win this game, representing the rest of the teams in their conference.
This is a kind of game, a top 25 matchup in the early season that you look for when you're trying to build your resume.
Yeah, these are so fun because as a player you kind of get bored if you don't get challenged, but when you got an early season challenge like this, all the adrenaline, all the juice, Palmer, you're ready to rock and roll.
I love this. We've had this game circled for a long time because we learn a lot in these types of games. What are these teams about? Which conferences are better? You're going to get a lot of answers today.
Back to pass, it's Ellington. It's complete.
Good play call on defense. Third down in that situation, you're just playing a big zone. You want everybody having their eyes on the quarterback, playing in their areas, and you want them rallying to the football. As soon as that running back caught the ball, they all came screaming in. They were able to make the tackle and now set up fourth.
Oh, this is a bad, bad shank. And he will boom that punt out of bounds. No chance for a return. Let's see where the officials spot it. Set on first down. The back goes in motion. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. Runs through a tackle.
And I love right out of the gate, this offense is going to be creative, and they're going to try to get their best players the football out in the open field. You saw it right there.
Now on second down. They'll try to get outside. A strong tackle and wrap-up from the junior.
I'll tell you, this is a running back who's very, very dangerous, and the defense did a good job getting him down there. But they got to do a great job gang tackling, because this is a guy that can break tackles and turn those types of plays into home runs.
Ball's at the 47. They're looking at a 3rd down and short. Looking for a man. It's Nolan. Out of the backfield, he's open. That'll be enough for the 1st down as they...
To the back.
At the 31-yard line.
You know, as a quarterback, when you're throwing to your running backs, you got to be careful. You got to be accurate. You got to put the football out in front and make it an easy catch for these guys, and that's exactly what that QB did on that angle.
The Buckeyes with the 1st and 10. Wide receiver now comes in motion. A jet sweep pass. The defense wouldn't let him loose, and even though it's a completion, they lost yardage.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I love it.
This offense has a 2nd down play. Quarterback checking off. On 2nd down, they'll take to the air. Gets it out quickly. They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks.
A quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the 1st down.
Looking to pass. It's Nolan. Back open in the middle. Really confident throw and catch there. Big pickup, and they have a 1st down.
Really nice job by the running back setting up that angle route. He's making it look like he's running to the flat, and then he puts his foot in the ground, cuts back across the defender's face, and makes himself an easy target for the quarterback.
The give is to Smith. Brought down after a pickup of 5 yards down to the 10.
Hey, 5 to 6 yards a pop. I don't know if you guys are really good at math, but that usually equals a 1st down every couple carries. So don't forget about the run game. Keep them honest, pound that rock.
Going to work on 2nd down in the red zone, and still some ground to cover to pick up that 1st down. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Buckeyes. They'll try to add another to their lead. And the PAT makes it 7-0. They went 54 yards on that last touchdown drive. And the capper on that drive, the 10-yard touchdown run. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. Boy, 3 and out last time, David. They'd like to be more productive this time around.
Yeah, in the last drive, nothing really clicked. No rhythm, got off the field really, really quickly. They need to put something together here.
Yeah, David, bad execution on that last drive, so they got to take a collective breath and start playing like a unit on this drive.
Got 3 on first down. It's 2nd and 7. To the air, it's Ellington. Quickly out to the tight end. And he's down at the 41. That's a first down.
Well, I know the tight end did some good things after the catch, but got to give the quarterback credit, too, for the location of the throw. Because he put it out in front of his big man, he was able to make the catch and accelerate, creating some distance there between him and the defense.
They'll put it in play from the 41 on first down. Use the play fake. Now to throw. And the pass is intercepted. He goes down right there, but not before coming up with a big interception. Offense getting set for first down. Always looking to throw. Fires into traffic, intercepted. He was trying to get that return going. Instead, he'll hand it to his offense at the 38.
Not all DBs make the play at the end, right? They can bat the ball down, they can be in position, but they don't really secure the football. Great job by the DB securing the football and forcing the turnover.
He's going to pass. Throws to the wideout. Picked off. Going the other way, and he's got room. He is finally out of bounds, but he was smelling that end zone on that return.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Keeps the legs moving. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry.
And that play shows you really what this defense is about. It's a difficult one to attack. They're really good. One of the best in the country. They come at you from all angles. So I'm interested to watch. How do you mix up the play calling? How do you keep the defense off balance? Because they are.
Quarterback feeling that pressure, and he's knocked down at the 42.
And you're seeing the pass rush on the second play of the drive. They dial it up. Look at the speed and athleticism this defense has as they corral the quarterback for a loss.
This is a 3rd and long. Quarterback checking the play. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
Man, this defense is dialed and already forced 1 interception. Had a chance right there to get another one. Everything this offense does so far, they are reading it, breaking on it, and making some plays.
They'll wrap him up and bring him down, and that's how we'll wrap up the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter.
First down to start the drive after the break. Quick handoff. He tried to find some running room, but they get him stopped.
Well, this is a defense that we know takes tons of pride stopping the run. That's where it all starts and ends with them, and you saw a great effort on that last play.
Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. To throw, it's Ellington. Fires to the big fella. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one. Referee signals timeout. It's the defense wanting to make sure that they have everything just right with a big play coming. They'll try to muscle their way forward on 3rd and short from the 29. touch pass on the jet sweep. Now they'll really try to get this drive going. Good execution on third down as they have it 1st and 10 at the 31.
And just went with something very easy, very reliable. Flip it forward, let your receiver do the rest. I only got to get a few yards. Nice job, nice execution. 1st down.
The Rebels have it with a 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Got his man quickly. Still on his feet at the 45. Nice pitch and catch there, and they'll have enough for the 1st down.
Well, it's a nice play design there. You're getting the running back involved in the pass game. Quarterback gives it to him early so he can go to work upfield and get the 1st down.
And the Rebels are moving quickly down the field. DB's locked up tight on the receivers. They're trying to get to him. He gets rid of it, but I don't think they're going to let him get away with that. Nope, here comes the flag. They'll line up for a 2nd down play. Looking to throw it again. Going for the big play. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on 3rd down. To the air, it's Ellington. Pocket starts to collapse. And they got him for the sack.
That's why, as a defense, it's so important to win early downs. You win 1st and 2nd down, you set up 3rd and long. Now you can pin your ears back and get after the QB.
4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Bringing it back, it's Benjamin. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable, that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
The offense setting up shop at the 46, 1st and 10. Trying to get the corner. Nowhere to run on that one. He loses 4 on the carry.
Well, the linebacker's showing you read and react. He knew exactly where that running play was going, and he beat the football to the line of scrimmage and forced the TFL.
Couldn't get him blocked on that last one. Now it's 2nd and 14. Fast motion from the offense. He wants to throw here on 2nd down. He'll pull it down.
It's going to be tough on this defense containing this guy because he's got that 6th sense to get outside the pocket, and at that point, he's throwing it and hurting you, or he can take off and run. That time able to get the 1st down. Big challenge for the defense moving forward.
All the way down at the 33-yard line. It's 1st and 10. They'll leave it with him. He works his way down to the 30-yard line before he stopped a gain of 3.
Yeah, a lot of times you want those big plays. You want those splash plays, but sometimes you're going to take some losses. You're not going to run the football overly well, but if you continue to run it, you can at least create some balance. You at least have the threat of it. Otherwise, you're just going to abandon it, and now it's just going to be a passing game.
Not just hard-nosed running, that's cement-nosed running as he gets it to the 25.
I think tackling is about effort most of the time. It's about how much passion, how much physicality you can bring to get your guy on the ground. Refuse not to get him on the ground. That's not a big back. You got to get that guy on the ground. You can't let him pick up an extra couple yards and stay ahead of the sticks.
We've reached the 2-minute warning, and we'll see if the offense can build on this lead before the break. Ball's at the 25. They're in field goal range, but they'd love to convert this third and short. Wide receiver shows motion. Looking downfield, it's Nolan. They've got the screen set up. And they wrap him up, but not before he's got enough for the first down.
Stop me when you've heard this before. First down. First down. First down. Just continuing to put first downs together. So far, this defense just can't find any answers.
And the Buckeyes getting set on 1st and 10. Wide receiver coming across in motion. The receiver on the jet sweep. And a nice run there before the defense finally makes the stop. Operating in the red zone here on 2nd down. Running behind that left side. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Ohio State. Up and over, Yaherrme be there into the end zone.
And you don't want to leave your feet very often in football, but this is one of those areas where you do.
Oh, they block it. He's got a chance to take this one back. So that's a 59-yard touchdown drive. And the capper on that drive, the 10-yard touchdown run. On the run from inside his own 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Yaherrme's offense ready to go back to work. Getting late here in the first half, they'll have a chance to make this a one-possession game.
And the offensive play caller here has to really be dialed in. It's important down 2 possessions, Dave, that they're able to score some points. You got to call your best stuff in this 2-minute situation.
And it's such a good opportunity to come into a one-score game, create that momentum, get some good juices going for the second half, because obviously, you built yourself a little bit of...
Oh, look out, there he goes! And they are pushing the ball down the field. A big pickup on that one, and the tackle is finally made.
How nice is it as a quarterback when you don't have to throw post routes to get great stats? No, I can just throw it quickly to one of the fastest players in the entire nation and let him burn this defense.
He leaves it with his back. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. The Rebels will hustle to the line. Dropping back, it's Ellington. Flushed out of the pocket. Just masterful working that sideline and getting the toe down for the catch. This first half of offense won't go on the highlight reel so far, but starting to get things moving, it's 1st and 10.
And this quarterback wasn't thinking about taking off and running with that one. He was outside the pocket, but he kept his eyes down the field. He kept reading the coverage. He was surveying.
And it's caught! Touchdown, Ole Miss!
And this offense continues to have some success. And I'll tell you what, when it gets down to it and you need a play, they're starting to find this playmaker. You can tell the QB looks for him. That's 3 TDs now in 4 games, and I think they'll keep feeding the big fella.
Oh, and he hit the left upright. No good. So they got the touchdown now, going to put it in the hands of their defense to finish off this half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Inside 30 seconds to play in the half. We'll see how aggressive they are on this drive. He'll come out throwing on 1st down. Buys a little time with his feet. The throw. And he left that one short. Tried to baby it in there. He's got to turn it loose.
I don't know if the quarterback read the coverage properly on that one, but obviously the result is an incompletion.
Misfired on the last play. They'll go back to the air. Working the middle. And an explosive play has him on the move, and he gets it all the way to the 48-yard line. They'll use a timeout right before halftime, maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays. They'll have just enough time to get 1 more snap before the half. back to throw. It's Nolan. He'll take a shot. And makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes!
And I love this offense, man. Staying aggressive. Just because you got the lead, you know people can score points in bunches. This offense keeps the foot on the accelerator, scores again on the final play. Now this offense has even more of a cushion going into halftime.
PAT unit on the field. And it's blocked. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. And the Rebels will line up to kick off and start the second half. From back of the end zone, he'll bring it out. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. He wastes no time and comes out throwing. He uncorks a bullet to the right. And the ball is caught. He's inside the 35. And they were looking for a chunk play, and they got it. The explosive picks up more than 30. After that huge play, they'll try to finish him off with another one. It's 1st and 10 from inside the 40. They try to get it outside on the left. Not much room. A pickup of 2 down to the 28.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
Wide out in motion. Quarterback flips it ahead quickly to the receiver. That's what you expect from a senior. Don't give them any extra yards. Great tackle there.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of a spot.
And they'll send out the field goal unit. And he'll need to curl this one in from 44 yards out on the right hash. Kick is good. The offense has 3 points to show for the drive. And now the lead is even bigger. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. USF has had no answer for the onslaught they faced today. A crucial game for this team, and they did not answer the bell. They're trailing by 14 to Southern Miss. We promise to keep you posted on what goes down in this exciting college football matchup.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Throws to the back. He just missed the target on that one. Got to put it on his body.
And how loud is it in this building? This is crazy. These fans are going absolutely nuts. And I used to love when the fans got involved, and I'm on defense, because it messes with the snap count, it messes with the communication, and it can really rattle an offense.
He's got him this time. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
Got like that big, reliable security blanket. And that's what tight ends are a lot of the times. They're just usually big, huge guys that if I throw it anywhere near him, he's going to pluck it, catch it, and give me some positive yards.
Quickly complete. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
Again, this is a running back that can hurt you running it between the tackles, and he's dangerous out in space. They like to throw it to him out on the perimeter as he picks up a couple of yards there.
And here comes the offense on second down. The aerial assault continues. And the quarterback is snowed under. And this defense, this crowd, this atmosphere, it can rattle an offense in a hurry.
You can shake them up. When you can get to the quarterback and affect them, we all know they become very human. They start seeing things, and with this crowd, they can't hear anything. This play...
And the deep shot is complete inside the 35-yard line. The Rebels want to crank the tempo.
Yeah, and the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosion.
Fires toward the end zone. And he's got it. Touchdown, Rebels.
Touchdown.
And how about the offense? They spread them out. Everybody spread wide. Easier to read a defense when you do that. They find the matchup they want, and they get rewarded with the score.
Two-point conversion attempt is on the way. Dropping back, it's Ellington. On the run, still looking. He's got it. Did he get a foot down? He did. It's good for the 2. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And they covered the final 29 yards with that touchdown pass. So much for the touchback. Here he comes. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. Out there. They've got the lead here. Last time they settled for a field goal, but they've got to find that balance between being aggressive and careful.
And I think they'll take that. I got the lead, Palmer. I got the football. I got to take care of the football, put a nice drive together, and just get some kind of points on this drive.
No doubt. Lots to be happy about right now if you're this team. I think for this one, though, on this drive, it's about finding the one-on-one matchups that are in your favor and then exploiting them.
Second and short now after that completion. Here's the handoff. Makes the tackle at the 30 after he picked up 10.
And listen, the offensive line has to do their job, but a really good job by the running back, understanding where his hole is. Go hit it, get the first down, don't mess around. Nice job following his hole, getting positive yards.
They'll snap this one from the 30 on 1st and 10. Smith takes the handoff. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36.
And after having a nice game like that on 1st down, if you're the offensive coordinator here, maybe you're thinking about being aggressive and taking a shot. Because even if it's incomplete on 2nd down, on 3rd, you won't have that long to go.
Out of the gun, the inside give. Turns it on in midfield. Hit the afterburners, kid. Inside the 10. And he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Ohio State. These guys are really hitting their stride in week 4 as they push out that lead.
And to have a rushing touchdown of that type of yardage, you've got to be able to make something miss. It's one thing to get into the 2nd level, but can you make that last defender miss? And you saw it on that play. Once he was in the clear, with his speed, he was gone.
The returner will field it and try to set up his offense in great field position. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. There's certainly still a hill to climb, but they've got to make sure these drives pay off. Got a touchdown last time. Can they back it up here?
Well, and it's amazing in a football game how sometimes they'll surprise you with what you do. Once you get settled, you realize what's going on. Now, I'm comfortable with it. Jesse, this offense looked comfortable on its last drive.
They sure did. It looked like they started to find some momentum. So now it's on this defense to stop that, all right? You're a little bit upset based on what just happened the previous drive. You've got to bow up again and go back to what was working earlier in this game.
Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a 1st down.
Well, look, this quarterback has struggled a little bit in this game with interceptions. Maybe he was being too greedy early on. That time made a real good decision. And I'll tell you what, that's a nice catch by the running back because that ball's in the air a long time. You're throwing it all the way out to the flat like that. He looked like a receiver making that catch and getting extra yards.
And he'll run across the sidelines after the good gain. If they're going to keep covering him like that, they're just going to keep going to it.
Yeah, and it's so hard because you want to stay back and take away the weapons outside for the wide receivers, but when this guy's going to be able to catch the football and he makes plays like this, now I'm going to have to maybe go play more man, bring a guy to him, and not let him get those open touches.
And that is just an attitude run, running it right up the middle, right into the teeth of that defense.
And the Rebels are marching down the field. They'll ride the hot hand.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground, take away that run game, make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Using his legs to buy some time. Quickly to the tight end. And he's knocked down.
I'll say this, man. In college football, you see a lot of bad tackling. You didn't see it right there. That was an awesome job. First off, being there at the point of attack. Once the tight end made the catch, there was no doubt he was going down. Great job form tackle.
And this offense is desperate to keep this drive alive, trailing by multiple possessions, and it's getting late. He's looking to throw on 3rd and short. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. A famous writer once said, most men lead lives of quiet desperation. Here is a desperate move, going for it on 4th down, trailing by double figures. Couldn't find his man, and they'll give up the football on downs.
Well, they're unable to come up with that one on 4th down, and I remember this as a player. You practice specific plays on 4th down for those types of situations, and you know all week against the scout team, they've gotten really clean looks, easy to execute against. They didn't get a clean look that time, so you chalk it up to the defense and take note of it next time. You might not run that play again if you're in a similar situation.
Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
Halfway there on 1st down, it's 2nd and 5. Moving the running back, trying to get the D to tip its hand. Wants to pass it. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. On 3rd and long, a check down would be the last resort. Trying to get to him.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play. With the score, Ohio State 29, Ole Miss.
The Buckeyes will punt this one away.
Number 10.
3 and out, and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. A low line drive and short kick. Slips through the line. This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return. Gets a little bit of ground for the offense. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. These last couple of drives, Jesse, have been about the defense making clutch stand.
I think for this offense, they can stay aggressive knowing that their defense is going to bail them out time and time again.
Yeah, and especially when you go for those 4th down situations, you do that a lot of times because you know your defense can make stands, make stops. They did on that last possession for you.
2nd down coming up. Corners are going to bail. Looking for a man. It's Ellington. Throws to the tight end. Complete downfield. And he was loose and in the open field and on his way. A tremendous pickup on that one. Trying to find his man on 1st down. Buys a little extra time. Snagged in the middle. It's Coffee.
I think this defense really needs to start thinking about really fencing this quarterback in. You cannot let him go east or west because he will extend the play with his legs and his speed and then hurt you throwing the football.
On second down, he's looking downfield. Lets it fly. Can't make the grab as he was going for 6 right there.
Oh, and the offense just not able to come up with that. You knew that was going to be a bang-bang play, right? They're taking a shot into the end zone. That's going to have to meet a contested catch on the back end, but he wasn't able to come up with it because of the hit.
This crowd knows they have to bring it in big moments, and one of those has arrived. They're going to throw it again. Got out of trouble, got rid of it. He makes the connection. Defense makes a stop, but the chains move, and it's 1st and goal from the 8. Linebackers shuffling around, trying to keep the quarterback from getting a read. Feeling some heat. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
And the quarterback gets hit again. We already know this defense has gotten home to him multiple times in this game. So here you are, you're trailing in the game. Defense knows you're going to throw it. They're pinning their ears back. You can't feel very confident right now if you're the play call, certainly if you're the quarterback, that you're going to have time to throw.
Off the bootleg, wants to throw it. Makes the grab on the left. That completion will take it close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. They're going to throw it on 3rd and goal. And the pressure gets there. And down he goes at the 18.
Awesome job by the defense. Not only getting a fast quarterback on the ground, but understanding what he wants to do. He can take off. I got to make sure I got good pursuit angles, and I got to make sure I build rails. I can't let him outside. I got to keep him in the pocket.
And it's picked off for the 3rd time today. And he's brought down, and this defense gets the ball back for its own.
This is a beautiful situation for the defense. When you're up by 2+ scores and you're in this situation, you know exactly what is coming. It's going to be a pass. They have to because the clock is their enemy. Great job playing pass, forcing the interception, almost putting the nail in the coffin.
Caught in the backfield, it's Smith. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. Well, he made the grab, but the doors closed quickly after that.
And I like this. I want to find my running back, but man, he's got to do a little more damage after the catch. I need a stiff arm. I need a spin move. I need something where he can make that guy miss and pick up a bunch of yards and maybe get a big play out of it.
Squeezes ahead for a couple. They'll get it out to the 9. See if they go back to the run here on 3rd down. Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. Looking to throw, it's Nolan. Quickly complete. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the 1st down. Boy, the defense really needed to get off the field there, and they just couldn't do it, and it's a fresh set of downs.
Man, that hurts. When you're trailing late in the ball game, you need those stops, and you get them to 3rd down. You get them to those critical points. Now they get the 1st down. You don't have many left. You better get aggressive.
The Buckeyes come to the line with a fresh set of downs. They'll keep it on the ground, trying to milk the clock. Strong run to get it out to the 21-yard line. They pick up of 6.
These situations are preached so much in college football. Finishing a game strong, understanding circumstances. They are running the football right at you, trying to keep that clock moving, get a few 1st downs, and get a W.
Got 6 on 1st down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4.
Let's go!
The give to the left side. He's out of bounds, but not before picking up enough for the 1st down.
think you have to like what you see if you're the coaching staff here. Your offense is on the field, and it looks like you got a pretty good drive going, and you're just going to try and keep this thing marching, keep the clock ticking. You've got a really nice lead here late. Just want to find ways to keep the chains moving. They're doing that.
Pre-snap motion, quarterback trying to get a read. He'll pitch it. At the 40, there he goes. Open runway ahead. And finally out of bounds after an explosive run by this ball carrier.
Everything going the offense's way. They're trying to ice this game late. They've got a really nice lead, so you just want to run the ball, high percentage throws, and keep the chains moving, and they're doing that. This has been a beautiful drive to watch. Offense continues to stay in a nice rhythm here late.
The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. After losing yardage, it's 2nd and 12. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. Not much there on the run. He gets one to the 31.
They're strong, and they're strong. Defensive tackles, they're strong. There's such big jokers in the middle where they just lock out those offensive linemen. And running backs, listen, they don't have much of a chance. When you got that 300-plus pound guy grabbing you around the shoulder pad, you tend to go to the ground pretty quickly.
Throws toward the end zone. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense will be quite content just to drain the rest of the time away. And on 4th down, they'll try to salvage the drive with a field goal. And if they can make this and turn it into a 3-score game, they'll have this one all but locked up. And it's no good. He missed it. And after the missed field goal, guys, the lead's still at 15. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. That last possession, a prime example, Jesse, of how things get condensed in the red zone.
Hard to throw when the windows are smaller, and that's what happens down near the goal line, David. But for this quarterback here, just take accountability and ownership and come out here and lead your offense.
And move on. Like, we needed points. That's something that we can harp on. We'll watch the tape this week, but now it's time to move on. Let's get another drive going.
A deep throw as the clock winds down. And it's caught inside the 25. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call. That's the way you get things going. A huge play, and now attacking from just inside the red zone. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Keeps looking downfield. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Offense working from the pistol. Defense dropping into soft coverage. Now he's going to break the pocket. Into the end zone. Can't make the grab as he was looking for his man right at the goal line.
And perfect timing. Got there right when the ball got there. Didn't get there a little bit early. Saving the touchdown. Nice timing by that defender.
He wants to throw it again. And it's picked off for the 4th time today. Bulldozes him. He'll finally go out of bounds, but he was showing off all the skills after that interception.
That should be the nail in the coffin. What a great break on the football. Getting the big turnover. You got the lead. Now just go out there, be smart on offense, and run that clock.
Motion from the offense. Going up top on 1st down. He rifles one deep to the left. And it's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Buckeyes! And the beatdown has ensued. That one ought to give them firm control of this game, and they have gotten things going here, about to move to 4-1.
There's no mercy rule in college football anymore. They've got a huge lead here in the 4th quarter. They are still chucking it, and they are still scoring.
Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. Fielded in the end zone, it's Coffee. That gamble did not pay off as they bring him down at the 12-yard line. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. Not a lot of hope here, down 3 possessions late.
No, and I love this part as a pass rusher because I'm just pinning my ears back, getting to the quarterback. I know it's a pass every single time. Palmer, I'm trying to pad my stats. I'm sure you're just trying to stay upright.
Well, we're definitely just trying to stay alive at this point, but you're also trying to build confidence, too, for your next opponent. If you can find some completions late in the game, even though it looks like you're going to lose it, it's all about building on the good things you do this week so that you're out executing at a higher level.
These DBs going to give a little cushion. Winning those individual 6-second battles every play, time after time after time after time, and that leads to a victory here.
And I love when teams go out and play like it's sudden death. Like if they lose the game, their entire season is over. This game wasn't for the national championship, but you wouldn't know that watching this winning team, David. Tremendous effort and tremendous execution.
I love competitive people. I love competitive coaches. I love competitive teams that they know that their job is to go out and get a W no matter where you play. You want to play in the parking lot? We'll go meet you. Great job of this team being ready, getting the W.
That's going to do it for us from here. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.